So there's quite a few like really cool up and coming things that we have going on now with some of our products. It's actually taking us in different directions, and these things I've talked to Kelsey and Andy about, but they haven't actually seen them either. So today I actually brought with me a mock-up countertop that we're actually going to be using. I'm going to hold it up for you so you can see it, but later after this conference is done, I'm actually going to send you a picture and email that shows you how this works. So the countertop that I'm actually holding up right now actually has a built-in wireless charging dock. So we can now charge wirelessly phones, iPads, any type of electronic unit that has the capability. So the new iPhone 6 did not have the built-in Wi-Fi, but my older phone, which is actually a 4, so it's really old, I need a new one, all I needed to do was go on Amazon, buy an $18 case, and I can actually put that case on my phone and turn it into a wireless charging unit.
Oh.
So my phone can't do that then? This is the 6?
It's a 6, it doesn't have it, but the Galaxies, all the Samsungs, those already
So
have.
first bad thing about Apple.
Yep, so note that, note to self. But the next one will have it.
Okay.
That's why I'm waiting.
Yes.
Oh yeah, okay, that's why I haven't gotten
So now this particular countertop, let's say this is in a larger format, or even let's say it's in a coffee shop. There needs to be an electric source going to the countertop, which plugs in. And then there's a light actually on it. And the light, when it's actually plugged in, will be red. And as soon as you put something on the surface of it, like a iPhone or Galaxy or whatever it is, it'll turn to blue, so you know that it's charging. So something kind of really neat that we can actually utilize under our large format slabs now. Okay. We can also do exterior furniture. So we're starting to do exterior seating, couches. I'll send pictures of that as well, some of those that are completed and finished. We can run LED lights and speakers underneath it.
Wow.
So lots of new capabilities.
Yeah, right.
So yeah, really kind of neat. I'm working with Sub-Zero Wolf right now, and I also work with a company called Spring USA. Spring USA is more on the commercial side, but they do induction systems and also frost tops. So if you go into any Cold Stone Creamery, they actually have a frost top where they put their samples on top of it.
Yes, so that it doesn't melt. Yep.
Our material can go on the surface of that, and they have their frost induction and frost top system underneath it.
Right.
So the slab cools and heats with the induction system.
That's really cool.
So what's really neat is when we're talking about induction systems, we could do in a residential home or maybe in an exterior application. Maybe they're doing a patio, they've got, you know, a fireplace or an entertaining spot exterior. We can actually put a countertop with an induction system underneath it where they're utilizing there's actually particular bowls that they have to utilize with the induction system because it's a magnetic system that will keep their food heated.
Do you know how hot that can go then?
180 degrees.
Really?
Yes.
Wow. That is super cool.
Yeah, and Sub-Zero Wolf, or not Sub-Zero, Spring USA actually tested our slabs, for 400 plus hours.
Right.
Yeah, 400 plus hours, and they did crazy things to it. They heated it up to 180 degrees, then they threw a bag of ice on it. They put spilled wine on it. They spilled mustard, ketchup, you name it. They tried to destroy the slab. And we passed.
Wow.
So,
But if the slabs can tolerate motor oil, it should be able to tolerate mustard.
Ketchup.
Yeah, mustard, ketchup.
I would hope.
The only thing that, you know, is when a surface is heated up,
It'll change.
It changes chemistry.
And we didn't know, you know, if it would change the porosity significantly. Now, we kind of knew it wouldn't, but we still had to go through the testing. Because we do rooftop applications with our 2-centimeter products, and that has a 50-year warranty on it. And you know, it gets extremely hot up there, especially on commercial rooftop applications.
Oh, right.
So yeah, so just to recap, the new large format slabs, 5 foot by 10 foot. The machinery is here. It's being hooked up so that we're going to start production here in the States.
Fantastic.
Which is really, really awesome. We still struggle with making sure people are trained and sufficient in handling the product, and that's going to take some time. You know, when quartz came out and granite transformations and all those thinner slab materials. It took a while for people to understand it, learn it, work with it. We feel, though, that we have a really good base now of people. And actually, Greg is going to be opening up probably other fabrication locations that he's going to oversee. He won't own them, but he'll have some type of say in how those are fabricated. So kind of neat.
Will he work with them if you find a local fabricator, maybe act as like a consultant?
Absolutely.
Okay.
Absolutely.
That's good to know.
He's willing to train these people. He's willing for them to go down there to do it. So great opportunity.
Excellent.
So yeah, really, really neat stuff, kind of cutting edge that we're developing with the large format slabs. We can also now do a 10 millimeter as well.
That's what I was going to ask if that was available.
Yep. So now the 10 millimeter, and we're expanding with different adhesives. 10X actually at Coverings just developed. It's almost like a spray foam, but it's a hardening agent. So we can actually build the frame of the countertop. We can put in the hardening agent, it expands, cut off the rest, and we're not adhering to a substrate anymore. We're actually, right.
Wow, that's cool.
So Greg has the first round of material to test coming to him in about 2 weeks.
Awesome.
Yeah.
And so that's still being made in Italy, and the 10 millimeter will be made in?
The 10 millimeter is on its way over here already in the Calcutta.
Okay.
We actually had a distributor purchase 400 slabs. So that's on its way over here already in Calcutta. And then once the machinery is up and running here, we'll have the availability to do the 6 millimeter as well as the 10 millimeter. And actually, Eugenio told me we could probably go as far as like 1 inch and 1/8.
Wow. Now, the fabrication of that material, it will be very similar to fabricating quartz product.
Yeah.
So you can polish the edge and so forth.
Absolutely. Here, if we're going a little bit thicker, depending on how long the span is, we may not need a substrate.
Right.
Which would be ideal.
Yeah.
Well, 3/4 inch. I mean, that's kind of the minimum thickness for all of our other products without substrate. So,
quite honestly, a 10 mil product, if we're doing a bathroom countertop,
should be just fine.
Would be just fine. You know, if we have cabinetry underneath it.
The only thing I worry about would be a large island if you had like a cantilevered area.
Yep.
Other than that, I would think
Absolutely.
for standard countertops it'd be just fine.
Yep.
Yeah, rich light 3/4 inch is just fine for countertops by itself.
Yep. So I think, that's going to be the direction that we're pushing in. Of course, we're still fabricating those large formats all the way down to a 15 by 30, so you can utilize those smaller sizes in areas as well as using it for countertop material. But anytime, shoot me an email, give me a call, whatever type of questions you have. If you've got...
I have a question about you're talking about the wireless docking station. Is that something that is on all the time, kind of like the Wi-Fi signal in your house, or how does that work?
Depending how it's hooked up, you could either have like an on-off switch so that it's not running all the time, so you can save electricity. I mean, quite honestly, it doesn't actually run off of a tremendous amount of power, but you still could have an on-off switch. For my sake, just for me to travel with, this is just a plug-in one, so I can show people how it works. Sure. But yeah, there's a lot of different options that you can utilize.
Well, I'm just wondering because I question, I know some people still don't believe in this, but like EMF radiation, has that been tested with that at all? Right,
electromagnetic fields.
Right. I mean, they're starting to do testing on it, but they don't have years of experience on any of those things. You've got some sources that say, yes, it could be harmful, and others that say no. So we have not done any testing, and I probably would say we're not going to either.
Okay.
Yeah.
I was just curious.
Sure. No, that's a good question.
Yeah, I would say if
I'm running across people that want to remove microwaves from their kitchen because of EMF radiation. So I'm kind of wondering how people who are conscious about that would react to a countertop that would be emitting Wi-Fi.
This would just not be the solution for them then, most likely. It would, just have to go with a different option.
Yeah.
And I think commercial-based, it would be much more popular than the majority of our residential applications.
Yeah, we're talking, if you're doing a residential application, a lot of kitchens might have, workstations or maybe a home built-in office or something. that's where most likely you're going to put this.
Right.
On the commercial side, yeah, if we're talking about like a Marriott, for instance, they have those communal tables where they have entire docks set up for people to plug in their laptops. Now we're actually undermounting these. And I don't know if you've seen recently, IKEA actually just launched their residential furniture. What's different about that is the wireless charging dock is actually sitting on the surface of their tables. Okay. So on a commercial application especially, it can be stolen, it can be wrecked, it can be broken. So that's an issue. Whereas here, it's built underneath. You still have access to it in case something breaks from the underside, but on the surface, nothing can be damaged.
Right.
Mm-hmm. You're going to be having, we're actually issuing some new marketing materials. And I actually went yesterday and picked up a bunch of the new prototypes that are going to be launched. There will be a new 2015 Iris catalog, the Beast. A lot of new collections in here, which is great. This is my copy of, I only have one copy of my Fiandre and one of the Iris. So as soon as the rest of them come in, we'll get copies to you and then you can disperse them however you need to. So that will be out shortly.
Now that I finally figured out the other one.
Right. New marketing material for the large format slabs. Awesome. So these actually open up.
Oh, nice.
Oh, nice.
We have little chips inside. So you can actually take these chips out and utilize them for countertop samples.
Okay.
And that's nice because we're used to all these different books.
Yep.
So this is great.
Yep.
More loose samples with a home.
Right.
So the system itself is actually composed of the original collection, so this original collection, and now there's actually some additional new colors that are available. So this has a lot of the marbles in it. This one has the new resin color, the Piombo.
Oh, no.
Yep.
That's nice.
The Basalto. So then you've got these in here as well, and these little chips come out.
Excellent.
Everything's labeled on the back. Nice. Now what we're doing in each collection, because there have been some confusion between brands, under our umbrella, under the Fiandre company, there's Iris, Fiandre, Ariostea, FMG, so quite a few different categories, product categories under our mother company. And each one of those companies had crossovers to these slabs. So there was a lot of different names. Now what we're going to do is we'll have this base, but then Fiandre will launch its new colors and Ariostea will launch its new colors, and they'll look completely different. So no more blending, no more crossing.
Okay.
Should be a lot easier for everyone involved.
Excellent.
Yeah.
The large format tile is something that a lot of manufacturers are getting into now.
Mm-hmm.
We're seeing it all over the board.
Yep.
So the questions always come, well, what makes ours different? And I don't know, I would say, first of all, I think you've been at it longer than most of the companies. Mm-hmm. So lots of experience. A lot of experience using it, not just as countertops, but mainly as like flooring materials, interior, exterior, siding, sheathing, and so forth.
Definitely. There are a couple different avenues that make our materials different. The first thing is recycled content. We do have a high level of recycled content in all of our products. I can't vouch for some of the others. I did look into laminam.
Yeah.
And there was like 4 colors that had recycled content and the rest of the line did not. So, that makes it different. Also, when we're talking about large format tiles, a lot of other collections are called thin body tiles, where ours is specifically called large format. So in our world, on the commercial side of things, we've actually been pressing 7 millimeters for many, many years in applications in car dealerships. So that was never considered a thin body tile, right, even though our standard here is typically a 3/8 inch tile. So our large format is not considered a thin body, even though it's a 6 millimeter. And that's why it's so original. We can actually utilize it for floor applications and we don't have to double it up. We have gone against other products which have a 3 and a 4 millimeter product. And I do know that at coverings, there's other companies that now are starting to launch 6 millimeters. They're just getting into it. I haven't seen the pictures from coverings. Eugenia is going to be sending to me, and I can send them on to you. But the digital imaging is different. So this is going to be a graphic digital print that's just on the surface. If you take a look at our material, we actually can embed our digital image 1 to 2 millimeters into our tile.
Wow.
So if you actually take a piece of like the crema marfil, for instance, it's not just sitting on the surface of the material, it's actually embedded into the layer.
I would say that's a huge difference.
It is. Yeah. It's a big difference. It's a big difference, especially for floor and countertop use, because any type of cutting or abrasive wear, we're always checking into, and we're just going to be that much more durable.
Now, is that going to be the same for the precious stones?
Not the same for precious stones.
Okay.
Precious stones, the way that we actually make the precious stones line is we utilize the Thasos, which is the pure white standard large format tile, and we actually put a digital image on the surface of that, and then that also gets a resin glaze on the surface. So it's not refired like our maximum and large format panels are. So the resin can only be used for vertical applications and light use countertop surfaces. Maybe if we're doing like a decorative surface, but not like an actual countertop high use area.
Great, thank you.
And it's just because the surface wear layer is not as strong. You can scratch it.
Okay. So
we need to be careful with that.
Okay.
But we can use it in water areas. So you could do like, an interior application where they had, a waterfall or something like that cascading down the surface.
Sure.
So, and vertical applications.
Excellent.
Yeah. Let's see here. Going to point out, we've talked about this just briefly, but we have 2 centimeter products, so these are extremely thick.
Mm-hmm.
I'll actually send over pictures. We did our raised pedestal system, and we had a car drive on top of it just to show you how durable these are.
Wow.
Extremely durable. So the car is sitting on top of the panels, it's raised up, and no cracking of the tile whatsoever.
It's hard to see from here, but does that look like concrete?
There's a couple of different looks. These are replicated to look like stone, and then we have another collection which looks like wood plank.
Okay.
So what's neat about this is we can actually utilize it for exterior pavers for landscaping.
Yeah.
They can actually be set on top of sand. They can be set on top of gravel. We can use a raised pedestal system if you're going to like run your drainage underneath.
Okay.
So a lot of different applications, or they can be thin set down as well. So if you had a concrete slab but you wanted to do something different on the surface, we could actually thin set this down. There's a lot of different bullnose pieces and trim available because we're doing a lot of pool areas with this material. So you've got pool nose and coping, all available.
Okay.
And there's these little tiny mini binders, so we can get these to you.
Okay.
Those are great for schlepping to and from.
Yep, and it doesn't have all the colors, but it gives you an idea of the material that you're looking at, and then you can order different samples, based off of that. Couple of new collections. Fiandre has a new collection called Easy. We're starting to do more concrete looks. These are available in up to 30 by 60s, so large format.
Mm-hmm.
So you'll also have a binder coming of this, a little tiny mini catalog. So this is the Easy collection. Iris, of course, they do not disappoint. So we've got a lot of new Iris collections coming out. Myalika is going to be stocked here.
Yay!
Yes,
Finally.
we'll be here shortly. So we've got Myalika, and I sent you the little brochure, which they're also expanding the sizes. So not only will we have the 8x8 and the 8x24, but there's also going to be a 4x12 available too. So if you need something a little bit more downsized, we've got that. Okay. So yes, Myalika, I don't know if you've gotten a chance to see the collection yet. It is a ceramic glaze. Changes from tile to tile. We can actually
send that up to Kathleen.
Oh, we'll send you a set. And I think you're going to really like it. It's glazed. It each piece is a little bit different, and some pieces have like a crackle finish to it, some do not, but lots of different colors: reds, blues, yellows, oranges, and then basic colors: lattes, mochas, grays, Nero colors. So
it really looks like a handmade tile.
yeah,
And that's the beauty of it.
Except you're
Except
a lot less expensive.
Yeah, and all the edges match.
Yes. Yes. True. I'm not
helpful.
exactly sure. Do you know off the top of your head what pricing is for that?
Like $4 a square
For
foot.
between $4 and $6 a square foot, let's say. So as opposed to like
$20, $30, $40 a square foot,
Mhm.
easy.
Yeah.
Yep.
Okay.
And then keep in mind too, we also want to push recycled content for that material, but also our reds, our blues, all those colors are derived from nature, from us. So we don't use any colorants that are man-made, I should say.
Oh.
So like your blues are going to come from cobalt, and your reds, you have to utilize gold
Right.
to make the red colorant. So something really nice to offer your customer when you're talking
Picturing
about
a pile
Of
piles when we walked through the
Oh, yeah.
we did the tour, like, oh, there's the gold for the red. That'd be nice. Pocket a little.
I'll just take a little bit of that. You know, I never ask them how much is needed.
Right.
You know,
They probably
like
don't want to tell you.
per batch or
Yeah,
whatever.
right.
But that's typically why you see those reds, the violets, and the blues a little bit higher in price.
Yeah.
It's because we have to use those raw materials to get the colorant.
Right. It's not original.
I know it's hard for you to see some of these, but we'll be getting these to you. This is a new collection called Reside. Italian made, will be stocked here shortly. I actually believe the container's on the water. Lots of different sizes. What's unique about this collection, it actually has 4 different glazing patterns to it. 2 that are concrete and 2 that are like a fabric texture. So when you look at the tile itself, you don't want to say, oh, that's a concrete look or that's a fabric texture. You can't really tell, which is kind of neat because then it caters to a lot of different decoration types.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
There's also 3 different finishes. So you've actually got an R11 texture, which is going to be an abrasive texture. So if you need something for an exterior, the R11 is very important there. Then we have our honed finish. And then there's also a Lapato finish. And you can't see it there. We'll send you the catalog though so you can take a look at it. This Lapato finish is a semi-Lapato. So it actually skips over certain portions of the tile. So not the entire surface is polished. It gives it some more dimension.
Mm-hmm.
And you can kind of see it here. It
Right.
actually adds more. I would say it caters to more of the fabric texture side when you see it. But lots of very nice colors. Cool. One that's a little bit warmer.
Mm-hmm.
So I think you guys will do really well with this. Again, yeah, recycled content and some great price points too. These will be stocked.
Excellent.
We brought the press here to make 36-inch length and also 48-inch length here in the States. And I haven't been told otherwise yet, but I believe we're the only U.S.-made factory that's producing those sizes here. So like Crossville, for instance, they actually make those sizes, but they import them and then they'll cut them down
Okay.
at the factory to create the sizes they need.
All right.
So they might press like a 24 or a 48, 24 by 48 and maybe create 8 by 48s out of it.
Right.
But they're not actually manufacturing that size. We're actually manufacturing those sizes here now in the States.
Fantastic.
So really neat.
Do you see more and more of the tiles having an R11 option as people are more comfortable with the idea of tile outside?
Absolutely. We're also seeing them utilizing it even in interior applications or transitional applications, maybe going from inside to maybe a 3 seasons room or, something like that. Or maybe, something that's covered like a pergola or something.
Correct.
What's unique about R11 finish is its cleanability. Because when you think of an abrasive texture, I think a lot of people think of more of like a slate texture, which has those pits and pockets and grooves in it. And with R11 finish, we actually glaze it with a material that once we fire it, bubbles up to give it some undulation. So you're not going to have those pits and pockets. We actually utilize the E-wood in the R11 finish in blonde and oak now for McDonald's. So you can imagine the wear, the grease, the food, you know, that they get on the surface, and it cleans extremely well.
Nice.
Darcy, the E-wood is what we private label as timeless.
Oh, yes.
Okay.
Finally have the Trix Binder.
Woo-hoo.
We had this collection here for quite some time, but we never had a binder, so now we've got the Trix Binder. And they also included in the Trix Binder the space tile. So space is all Italian made.
So cool.
Yep. We'll send you this too, a copy of this. The field tile for space, concrete look, which actually replicates like hand trowel marks to it. So you're going to have some swirling, some dimensions, some modeling to it. 18 by 18s, 12 by 24s, 24 by 24s, great price points for imported material. Love it. The wall tile that goes along with this is a matte 8 by 18. So you can see the colors here, hopefully. I think I'm holding it up. Okay. We've got some warmer tones, and then it goes into some cooler tones. Great price points again. Listellos, decorative pieces. The one that I want to point out down here at the bottom actually has a glossy texture to it.
And a really cool pattern.
And a really cool pattern.
A little bit more, you might know.
Nope.
I was gonna say
Forward.
light was
I can
reflecting.
see a little bit of the pattern when it's back.
There we go.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And we'd automatically think that this would be very expensive, but because we're actually pressing it and molding it first and just glazing the surface instead of adding dimension to the surface of the tile, it's actually really inexpensive. So this price point, you're probably going to be, I would say, between $4 and $5 a square foot.
Wow. Fantastic.
Awesome.
Yeah. So that's Trix and Space. Now in Ariostea is really well known for their Legny collection, which is one of their wood looks. Do we have that binder out? So maybe we should get the binder of that. What's unique about this particular wood collection is it's actually an unglazed print. So the wood graining and the movement goes all the way through. So if you actually take a look at the piece on the side, you'll actually see the movement in the Legny collection. We utilize this one for accounts like Hard Rock Cafe and Outpost Foods. We actually use it on the exterior of the building. You can actually take, I mean, with most of our collections, actually all the collections except for the wall tile, you could actually take the corner of this tile, scrape it right on the surface of any of our porcelains, and you won't harm the finish. So it's extremely durable. They have now 25 different colors in just the Legny collection. And these are the 3 new colors. And if you take a look at the top of the binder, this is kind of how the material will look. This one's very rustic.
Yeah.
And up to a 60-inch length.
Wow.
Wow.
Nice.
Yeah, so these are the 3 new colors. But yeah, 25 colors total, and each color has different sizes available that range from 4-inch by 24 to 6 by 36, 9 by 36, and then all the way up to 48-inch and now 60-inch.
Wow. Those are nice.
Yeah.
Yeah, do you see a lot of your customers liking the wood looks in the porcelains? Is that something?
Yeah.
I think it's very popular right now. Everyone's looking for something, but something different. Yeah, because every company has wood looks. I would say we tend to throw something in that's a little bit untraditional usually, whether it be a deco piece or a mosaic that's available in the wood collections. So like the French wood collection, which I don't have with me today, that one actually has rosettes and different decorative scrolly patterns, which you can actually see in your Iris catalog.
Okay, yeah, I'd like to see that one. I know even for our house here, we want to replace the carpeting and get something more durable. And I've wanted hardwood for a long time, but my husband and I are still borderline, do we just use tile instead? Because we've got dogs and weather, and so.
No, that's a great point, Darcy. Because it's the whole wood look for the last 15, 20 years now in homes has been huge.
Absolutely.
But the downside is the maintenance, and you're not getting wood that was produced 100 years ago. That type of durability anymore, and you can get with some of the real high impact bamboos and so forth. But more and more people want the wood look, but want no maintenance, and that's where the tile comes in.
And then, this isn't obviously my forte, but I'm not sure. Urethanes, a lot of them are pre-finished, and you might have customers that have sensitivities to that.
Yep.
So there might be woods that they can't actually maybe get or utilize.
Well, and the wood smell. Some people with chemical sensitivities can't tolerate the smell of wood because of the sugars and the terpenes that are in wood. And in tile, you're not going to get that. It's fired at 2,600 degrees, whatever it is.
Right.
27, sorry.
Hotter than lava.
The only downside to using tile like that, though, is having to run the heating, like the underlayment, the heat laments, or like heat tape or something underneath of it, because it's just way too cold to have a whole living room space with all tile in winter in Wisconsin.
Agreed, but it's not much colder than hardwood. Actually, hardwood isn't a very good. Tile's a great conductor of energy, and so is wood. And tile's better, but a cold wood floor feels like a cold tile floor. The difference is the tile is going to be harder in the joints, but there are ways with certain underlayments to actually take that up. We can use cork as an underlayment, and it's easier on the joints. So,
do you actually put cork underneath the tile?
Yeah, you can. Matter of fact, in some parts of the country, it's building code that you have to use a 1/4 inch of cork underneath tile in order to cut down on sound transmission.
Really?
Yep.
I wish I knew
that. They also use it as a thermal insulator, don't they?
And a thermal insulator, yep.
Over a slab.
Yeah, so it's a stress crack reducer. It's like the idea of using Schluter, but it's actually a better insulator. So I know Cook County, Chicago, that's their building code for any elevated concrete decks.
That makes sense.
And then better on the joints for when you're standing on it for long periods of time?
You got it. Exactly right.
Isn't it amazing how they change from county to county?
Yeah, it is.
Yeah. Well, you can see, too, that there's different counties that are a little bit more proactive.
Right.
And
I think Cook County is because of all the downtown Chicago buildings and all the elevated concrete decks, and that when that building code was written, that's all that was available. But it just makes sense. It works.
Yeah. Yeah. Lot of new wall tile collections available. And I only brought a couple with me. The remaining ones will be in your new 2015 catalog. They're just a ton. And I don't know, do we supply them with the link that they can access? Yeah. So all the new ones are actually on the link. And we just added to the Fiandre US collection too. There's a new collection called Harmony. I don't have the samples yet. It's actually in production in Crossville right now.
Excellent.
And the only samples that I saw were pictures that Eugenio forwarded to me from coverings. So that one's new. And Iris also has some new US collections that will be launched shortly too. So this is Opaly. You've actually got, it's based off of an onyx look, but the definition to the veining and the movement is more like a watercolor effect. So it's more blurred and not very definite. And the decor pieces that go along with it are very unusual. They're feathers.
Oh, wow.
Probably, I don't know if you can see this.
Yeah, it's kind of hard to see, but
yeah. So you'll be able to get a chance to see these particular materials. The wall tile is a 10-inch by 30-inch piece. So we're still kind of catering to more of those large format wall tiles even. The smallest wall tile that we actually make is a 4 by 12. So we don't actually do a 3 by 6. We try to do things that are a little bit more untraditional. Maybe the surface texture or the print is traditional, but the size is going to be a little bit more untraditional. Okay. So, yep, so this is Opaly. Ariostea has a new high-tech line, concrete looks. And I'm sure some of these are probably all looking the same to you. There is more definition to these than what you're probably seeing.
And I see stair treads.
Yep, Lots of stair treads. Actually, almost every single one of our collections will have now stair tread available. We can also do custom stair tread, as long as you and your customer are, you know, understanding that we have to develop it and make it in Italy and bring it over. So in that particular case, we're probably looking at about an 8-week lead time.
Minimum.
Yeah, I would say if it's a stair tread that is exactly like how you're seeing it here, you're probably looking at 6 weeks. If it's something that we have to change, like say you want to put grooves in it,
right,
or something like that, or maybe you want to put 5 grooves instead of 4,
right,
you know, you're probably looking at an additional 2-week lead time to do that.
Doesn't seem like that much.
No, it doesn't.
No. It's snowing.
No.
Yeah, it's been.
I'm sorry. I got distracted. No.
Not by me.
Oh, you're lucky. Yes, so this new collection, actually is more large format. So we've got 15 by 30s all the way up to 30 by 60s. Looks very similar to the space collection. So we'll have some of those like trowel marks to it, like more of like a stained concrete, but some really nice looks. Hyperglossy we've talked about before. Price points are phenomenal. And we've got actually both the glossy texture now and the matte texture all in one binder.
Nice.
So this is all together. I think your price point is,
I don't know, but it's good.
It's really good. I want to say like
Probably
$3 a square foot.
Yeah.
Yeah. So wall tile with coordinating porcelain floor tile. So I don't know if you can see, you've got green and blue colors here. Those green and blue colors also have coordinating porcelain floor tile that coordinate with that. So you've got a blue and a green floor tile as well.
Which you can kind of see on the pictures. There's a blue floor.
Nice.
Cool.
So this is Iper. Stea is now playing around with different textures in the material, and we're actually forming plates that we press into with these different textures. So Pietra is one. The base color line of the material is very simplified. So we've got very warm colors to very cool colors, but there's 2 different surface textures. One's called Wave and the other one's called Bagnato, which I've had designers tell me kind of looks like an upside down egg carton. So take a look at this. Yeah.
Oh yeah. Sure.
Okay.
So this is really, really bumpy. Big bumps though.
Big bumps. Can be used floor or wall. You can see it. And we'll send you one of these too. But here's the colorway. And then the Wave, can you see it?
Yeah.
It's hard. It's going to be hard to see for you, so I apologize. But every once in a while, it'll have just this lip on it that rolls with the tile. So really neat. They're going to start pushing in this direction. We actually closed our entire Stea factory down and moved the location because we redid the Stea factory in Italy to just produce our large format slabs there.
Wow.
So we actually took everything down, the kilns, all the presses, everything. We have a video, which I'll email to you, which you can pass on, so you'll get, that actually shows how we actually took everything down and rebuilt it. The factory now that produces our large format slabs is completely automated. It's all run by robots.
Wow.
It's very, very cool. Right down to the packaging. You can actually see the robot ship the material, crate it. They actually have these forks that go down into the crate that sprays foam into it. It expands and packages the material. So in shipping, it doesn't move. It's very, very cool. So you really, really want to see that. Yep.
Don't show Alex.
Yeah.
Right.
So just newer technology. We have a lot of people ask me, what happened to the people that were working there? Did they lose their jobs? No one lost their jobs. We just tweaked their positions. So with everything being automated, we needed more engineers. So we trained people to be more on the engineering side. And then a lot of those other people that were shipping before are still shipping. They're just doing more of the computer shipping and more diagnostics.
Oh, okay. Cool.
Yeah.
That's impressive.
Yep. So really important for us. We want to be cutting edge as far as technology goes, but we still need to be employing, you know, our core people. So that's really important for us. The economy in Italy was just as bad, if not worse, than our U.S. economy. And actually, last year, our U.S. economy kept them going.
Yes.
Because we were actually doing such a nice job with our factory here in the States in production. We added to our kilns. We have actually 5 kilns now at our Tennessee factory. And all of those kilns are running at full capacity.
Wow.
So what we're producing, we're actually selling, which is good and it's bad. We need to tweak things, so we're probably going to bring an additional kiln. And we'll also have that new machine here, which is actually going to take up the size of like 2 of our kilns, just as a press for the large format slabs.
But you guys had the land around.
Yeah. Right.
Yeah.
We own it. New Fiandre catalog, another beast. It's huge, but awesome. It has a lot of information in here for you. The first part is talking all about the large format slabs, how it can be utilized, countertop applications, floor applications, cutting tools. A lot of the information that you need will be right in here. And then it goes right into the collections. You'll see the 2 centimeter porcelains in here. You're going to see the regular 3/8 inch porcelains in here. So a lot of different collections as well. So that's Fiandre catalog. And then we have, last but not least, we have Marble Arc, which is a new floor and wall combination. This collection was actually made specifically for a new brand of Marriott that's coming here called AC Marriott. So you're going to start seeing a lot of AC Marriotts now coming. They were started in Spain and are slowly starting to trickle in here now. We have one that's actually being built right now in Ohio. And there's one in the works right now with Gary Brink and Associates in Madison. So we're going to actually have one in Madison, which will be really cool. This particular collection, AC, or the Marriott brand, brought us a natural stone, and they said, can you duplicate this into a porcelain and a ceramic wall tile so that we can utilize it for our resident bathrooms? So this collection has a lot of decorative features to it, and the basis is actually based off of marbles. So you're going to see, can you see a little bit? You've got 2 colors right here. One is Statuario and the other one is Aurora. So you've got a white base with a gray vein and then a creamier base with a browner vein. And then we also have Calcutta, anthracite, and mocha.
Wow.
There.
Very nice. And
then they all have coordinating porcelain floor tiles to go along with them. Same thing here. Our digital technology has changed just slightly. So instead of, because there's a lot of different technologies available, this one is still embedded into the surface. So our new digital technology actually is embedded 1 millimeter to 2 millimeters into the surface of the tile. So kind of cool. Do you have any questions on anything that we covered?
I don't think so.
I will follow up with sending those emails and those pictures that we talked about, and then also the link to actually view that video of the new factory, because it's really awesome.
Nice. Awesome. Excellent.
Yeah.
All right. So, yep, that's good. And so we'll get those links and those samples out to you, Darcy, then. And everybody else, of course.
And once you get the catalog, if there's anything additional that we didn't send to you that you can utilize, you know, let Kelsey know, and we'll get that to you.
Samples of anything, whatever you might need.
Okay.
All right.
Have a good day.
Thank you.
Thank you.